Welcome back to the channel. So, this video is for the chosen folks. It's funny how the tables turn. It's funny and amazing, isn't it? At first, they think you're crazy. They think you're crazy because you just simply think completely differently than them. You think outside of the norm of society. You see the bigger picture. You see all of life. You see the world. You know what's good. You know what's bad. You understand people. You understand psychology. You understand yourself. As for them, they don't understand that stuff. They're just pretty much reacting to the world. They're pretty much just reacting to things that's going on around them and just big doughheads for the most part. As for you, you understand a lot of things. And when you shoot for the bigger things in the world because you know what's important, people want to doubt. People want to try to view you like you're equal to them. And that's where a lot of this doubt comes in that people have for you. Because they want to think you're the same. They don't want to think anything else is different between you and them. That's the real cause, guys. I promise you. You might think, this person's so delusional. How can they view me this way when I know who I am, man? Like, I know who I am. How could they think of me like this? You might tell yourself that. Well, they are delusional. And they're not seeing what's actually inside of you. They're not seeing it. And you could try your hardest to show them. The thing is, guys, they refuse to even want to see it. They will do everything to avoid who you actually are as a person. They just want to view you how they are. They want to talk to you like a regular Joe, just like they are. They want to think you're on the same level as they are. And it's funny how if you're around certain people like that and you talk about certain things, how they get real uncomfortable. Oh no, all of a sudden they get real uncomfortable. Why? Because you're showing them glimpses of who you actually are, the knowledge you have, the things you've done, where your mind is at, how your soul is, how your brain operates. They get little glimpses of that and they just ignore it. They just want to keep talking to you like you're normal and all this stuff. And I know you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, man. And at first, this kind of stuff is going to annoy you. Like, it's actually going to annoy you. But as you keep going on in life, you start to grow an even higher understanding of what you already know. That stuff no longer even does anything to you. It doesn't even annoy you. Because you understand them and where their head is at. And you understand that they're delusional. You understand that they have to think that way in order to have any amount of peace. They already don't have as close to the level of peace that you have in your life. So they want to try to hold on to any itsy bitsy little bits of peace that they do have by being delusional. Because if they were to live in the same reality as you and knowing the things that you know, it's going to obliterate them. And they literally don't want to believe it. They just want to think how they always thought. They want to continue on with their life, but nothing changes. And it's funny how, with your life, everything changes. Every year. Every time you run into those people, things is different. But with them, nothing is different. They're quite literally on the decline. And the crazy thing is, there comes a point in time where their delusion really gets its ego bruised. Their egos get very bruised at one point in time, because when you far exceed what they used to think about you, that starts to hit, bro. That reality starts to smack these people around. Like, big time. You are the awakening to their soul. And they tried to avoid it for so many years. Could even be your own family, some of you. Some of your close friends, whatever it might be. But reality sure knocks them upside their head at one point. Because at first, you might just be telling them what you're going to go and do. You might just be telling them how you see the world. You might just be telling them certain things. And it's not cluing in. It's not clicking. They might think you're crazy. They might think certain things. But as time keeps going on, you prove everything you've ever said. And you're becoming everything that you knew you were all along. And they just didn't want to view you like that. They wanted to view you as lesser than you actually were. That's the thing. And that can be the annoying thing that you have to deal with as a chosen one. And it is pretty annoying, but you learn to not care. You learn to stay in your lane and not attach yourself to these types of people or the way they think, because you know the way you think is superior. And that's not egotistical. This is what it is. You do think in a superior, higher level type of way than they think. They're thinking about drugs. They're thinking about alcohol. They're thinking about partying. They're thinking about lusting with women. They're thinking about pornography. They're thinking about all the stuff that holds no weight in the world, that does not matter at all. Meanwhile, you're focused on yourself. You're focused on goals. You're focused on a vision. You're focused on feeding families. And they're focused on such low tier type of stuff. So yeah, you do things superior. And you do become a superior human being that far exceeds what they will ever touch. All the years, all the hard work, all the sacrifices, everything adds up. Big time. And you're going to get this giant splash of results. Giant. And they will never touch that in their lives. So, yeah, you are different. You're built different, quite literally, in every way, in every metric. And it's because how you think. Our minds shape everything, guys. Our minds and the way we think shapes everything. Literally everything. Their minds, it just ain't braining. Their brains ain't braining. They're using such a small percentage of it. And we use a much bigger percentage of our brains. And we choose to live in reality. We choose to go through hardships and challenges, and we're not delusional with it. We even go through heartbreak sometimes, and we don't ignore it. We don't run away from it. We feel everything, and we go through it. We go through life. They don't. They might experience something, but they shy away from it. They get away from it. They escape everyday challenges. They don't show up to the gym. We show up to the gym. We have dedicated maybe an hour or 2 or 3 out of our day to learn new stuff, to learn things that's going to better our lives in the long run. They have spent that time doing something stupid, playing a meaningless game, doing something so silly. And it's not even that you can't play a game. It's the fact that those people go towards things that don't matter so much. So much. When you spend so much of your life improving and having that hunger, like the hunger, the curiosity to improve, you hold yourself to a standard, and that standard is something you reach because you had your mind on it and you knew you could be that. You knew you could get there. And with them, they just always saw themselves the way they grew up, like their parents, like their surroundings. This is where they come from. This is who they are. They don't think any bigger. They don't have the confidence to actually go out there in the world to make something big happen for themselves. So this is what chosen ones will experience. You will experience many of these kinds of people kind of trying to throw you under the bus, especially in the beginning phases of your life. Especially. You're going to get the most amount of hate at first. It's going to die down over time because you start to become someone where you're undeniable. Like you're achieved, you're undeniable. And people that are hating, they would just look stupid if they tried to continue to hate. But at first, on paper, they have a valid reason to hate because you're not proven just yet. And if they try to make you look silly to everybody else, it makes them look better. Because when you try to do something significant, when you try to do something big and people shit on it, what they're doing is they're trying to take away your shine. No, you can't do that. No, 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 no. Ha, ha, ha. They talk amongst each other. They try to chirp you. They try to push your name down because you're trying to come up. You see how that works? You're trying to come up. I know I can do this stuff. You're trying to come up, and they're like, no, you can't. No, you can't. But when you do, they stay right down where they're at. Because they spent all their time doubting you. While you spent all your time and energy trying to come up. And they were trying to push you down. Instead of them being like, yeah, let's go up. Like, yeah, like we can do this. No. They didn't want to do it. They just want to spend their time trying to push you down. And when you go all the way up, it's to the point where they would look stupid to say things dirty on your name because you're literally proven. You're literally respected by so many people. All of a sudden the haters even respect you because you have become like a superhero-like figure. And this is what being chosen is all about. It is powerful, bro. It's not something to be effed with. It is powerful. And it's real. Like, there was something powerful on your life. And you went with it. Through all the years, all the crazy years, all the doubts, all the naysayers, all the haters, all the crazy stuff you had to experience. You went through it all. And you come out on top. They said you couldn't do it. They said you wouldn't do it. But you did it. You proved them wrong. You have become the person you said you were going to become. The whole time they thought you were just, not being genuine. No, you can't do that. They were sure of themselves. But you were more sure of yourself, and that outweighs everything they've ever tried to do to put against you. And that is how it works. So, being chosen ain't for everybody. Being chosen, it is a privilege. It is an honor. And And that's something you cannot take lightly. You can't just be like everybody else and think you're chosen. There has to be something on your life. There has to be something big about yourself in what's happening. And if you can go through the storms, if you can go through the hardships, if you can go through the heartbreaks, if you can go through the trial and error and continue to push forward, you will see what God is going to do for your life. And it's going to be incredible. And I mean incredible. But God is needed and God's presence is needed. Not these other people around where you're trying to be like them. You ain't trying to be like them, bro. You ain't trying to fit in with them. You ain't trying to go out with them. You ain't trying to do the things that they're doing. You're trying to do something totally different. And the reason why you're doing something totally different is because God has put that purpose on your life. And the sad part is, some people have that. Some people have that and they go against it because they don't want to go through the pain. They don't want to feel alone. They want friends. They want to go out like everybody else. They want to lust with women like every other guy around them and all this other stuff. Because you want to be considered cool. You want to be considered normal. Why the f would you want to be considered normal? Why would you want to be considered normal? Why would you not want to be great? In the end. And I know why some people don't want to be great. Because they're not labeled great in the very moment, because greatness takes time. Greatness is built over time. That's how it works. Grant Cardone wasn't great overnight at real estate. I'm pretty sure he was addicted to hard drugs and everything else, even in his late 20s, around the same age as me, and he wasn't doing so well. Now he's an older man, probably in his 50s or 60s or something, and he's the king of real estate. He was just chosen for that. It chose him, you know. The king of real estate, Grant Cardone. So, you know, when you can go through trial and error, when you can go through things in life, and regardless of what everybody else says, I'm sure he had haters. In fact, I know he did. He talks about it sometimes. He's had doubters. He's had so many things that went against him, but he knew something no one else done, that no one else knew. And that's the power chosen ones have. They're going to try to put out your light, but that light is going to shine bright, and they're not going to be able to do it. Because when God has something for you, he's going to make it happen. He's going to make that happen. It just don't happen overnight. So you guys still, a lot of you watching this video, you have to give yourself time. Because nothing happens overnight. And I mean nothing. Where my life is right now, where it stands right now, significantly different than it was 2 years ago. Significantly different than it was even 1 year ago. With time, things change. Because you did exactly the things you should have done. And God is going to do onto your life what he wants to do onto your life. That's what's going to happen. He's going to make that happen for you because you wanted it. You worked for it. You grinded for it. You stayed focused for it. You didn't get off track and do a whole bunch of dumb stuff. You earned your position. And it's like anything. When you go to school for 10 years to become a doctor, you earn your position to become a doctor. Some people's chosen to become a doctor. That's their calling. And they didn't do what everyone else done to reach that position in life, guys. They lived a very specific life. They went about things in a very specific way. And that's what was for them. And I know for a fact there is something out there for all of you guys in your own way. It could be anything. I could not tell you what it is. It could be anything. But I know it's out there. And you have to know it as deeply as I know it, because it is. You just have to do the right things and make the right moves. Stay clear from things you should. and move closer to the things that you should be around. But anyways, guys, that is it for this video. I hope this could give you guys the inspiration you needed today. And we'll be back tomorrow. And with that being said, God willing, God bless. We'll see y'all at the top.